So once I was going out with a friend, but I met him like at work when I was like working like a summer job, and it was like a friend. Okay, I never thought that something more will go with that going out. Um, so we went to the sushi place, and after we went to play pool. So very like friendly thing. And when I came back to my house, so he dropped me off. He dropped me off, and he gave me like a little gift. So very nice and thoughtful. So first he tried to kiss me. I was like, oops, nope. Awkward moment. First one. Second one, he offered me like a bath bomb, but the name of it was sex bomb. So second very awkward moment for me. And he told me, but I thought you knew that it was a date. And I was like, nope, because if I knew, I was never going, I would never say, I would have never said yes.
If I knew I was not going to come, that is what she said. Wait. Did you keep the bath bomb?
I had to. And I never used it. That was a very awkward moment for me. And even like during the dinner, I never picked something like, like, and no, like nothing that told me that I was on a date, no hints about it.
No, I get that. I do. Well, which leads us to the question, actually. How has dating transformed in the last 20 years, and what does it say about us?
Ooh, I have a lot of things to say about that.
Okay, then let's jump in, people. Good morning, mango berries.
Good morning. It's
mango
and strawberry.
Another episode. I hope you guys are ready for some more.
Are you ready for love, dating, and Generation 2000?
Because I am. Tell me more.
Yeah. So there is like kind of the love then and the love now. So there is like the traditional dating.
Yes.
And now you have the swiping culture.
Kind of makes you question, like, how meaningful are relationships nowadays?
I feel like our society is a society of consumerism. And even for dating, it's like that.
That I agree with, yes.
It's like you go into to do your grocery shopping online, and you're picking some stuff. And for me, dating app is like kind of like that. You're picking people, and you add them to your cart, kind of.
But yeah, because you are not basing anything on who they are. You're basing everything on what you see.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I do think that even before it was kind of like that, because you are never going to talk to someone if you don't have at least like a little bit of physical attirance, attraction.
Attirance, the word of the day.
Attirance.
Bada bing, baboom. But let me ask you this. Because the only reason I'm saying this is because I was watching this TikTok. Yes, guys, TikTok. And there was this couple where they're married, and the husband asked his wife, am I attractive because you love me, or do you love me because I'm attractive? And that made me think.
Okay.
Because sometimes you start talking to someone without seeing like, oh my god, look at them, they're so handsome, they're so beautiful. I'm feeling the physical attraction. But the more you talk to them, the more their personality shines through. So you start liking them as a person before you were like, oh, he's very handsome. It's like, do you love them because they like, is the reason you're talking to them, your interest is all about their physical attraction, or have you talked to them and because of that, that's why they're attractive?
I think that it's kind of hypocrite to say that you don't have the physical attraction first. Because obviously, if you're going to talk with someone at first, it means that you are at least attracted to the physical aspect of the person. Sometimes you have like a very good looking person, you're going to talk with that person, and you will be like, oh, I cannot deal with that kind of personality. Because it doesn't match like your expectations or you or your values, whatever. But sometimes you're going to talk with someone because they have like a friendly face. So you are attracted to that friendly vibe, and at the end you're like, oh, there is something else that I want to discover.
Blind dates, but not in the sense of you are being set up and you've never talked to the person, but in the sense of you have a friend and they're like, you will love them, and they give you the information that I just talk to them, like you guys talk and then you meet each other. Not to say that one of the person is ugly or not attractive, but once they've created that connection of knowing each other and being attracted to each other's personality before they see each other, do you think that there will be, okay, you may not be my quote unquote type, but you and I have clicked to a point where I see the attraction in your personality, but not necessarily I feel like, it's not like, oh my god, I love how you look, but it's okay, but I love how you are. What's your thought on that?
I think that sometimes it can happen, like being, for example, this setup, okay, and you're like, okay, you're not my type, but there is something else, and that's okay in a way. But I think that our generation is all about how you look next to each other, what is the vibe that you give as a couple or future couple, and also the expectations of, if for example you are a good looking woman, the expectations of your friends, your family, whatever, and the guy is like not ugly but not matching your vibe, and you will be like, oh no, I could never be with someone like that physically.
Okay.
Because I think that there is like this kind of pressure of society, family, friends. Some friends will be like, oh, I never thought you were going to be with someone like that. You know that kind of sentences?
It's like, I didn't imagine you with, like, this is not who I saw you with.
Exactly.
Who did you see me with?
I don't know, someone like tall, dark hair, blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, so
You can die there.
yeah, and you, and then you're like, I think that at some point you will question your choice.
Your relationship, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me follow up on that. Is sometime okay. Sometimes if somebody say this is not the person I envision you with, but what they're talking about is not necessarily physical, but it's like the kind of person that they are.
That's different.
Do you think that, first of all, do you think it's anybody's place to tell you that? Because then are they saying it out of like you deserve better, or are they saying it out of like I don't know if you guys are a match and making you question your relationship?
I think it depends on the person saying that to you. If, for example, one of my closest friends will say to me, you know, Strawberry, can I say something to you? You know how they approach the thing. Not saying something to say something. But say something because they saw things that you in your relationship cannot see because you're in it and sometimes you don't want to see it.
Yes, you're choosing to close a blind eye.
Yeah.
Turn a blind eye. Yeah.
So I think it depends on who is saying that to me and how it is done.
It is communicated. Okay. We were talking about traditional dating when we got off script here. But what is traditional dating to you? Like we talk about the swiping culture being put in a cart. Men and women should really think about that, because when you say put in the cart, I was like, I feel like a piece of meat.
Yes.
But what is traditional dating looks like to you?
It's like, for me, it's meeting someone. For example, you're reading at a park and someone is like asking you, oh, what are you reading? And at some point you just talk. Or you are at a grocery shop. It's like everything that you can see in the movies.
See, I was about to say, people might argue that that's unrealistic, because first idea is here, stranger danger. Why are you talking to a stranger? And that is not to say that I don't agree with that, sorry. Because I am that person who thought I would meet my Prince Charming walking in the bookstore. Okay, I'm in my aisle, looking at a book, reading like am I buying this? And he pops up and he says, I've read that book and I think the end is like every other romance book. And he has not read the book. And I'm like, oh, you have? Like, I'm telling you, it's a meet cute wedding bells.
Yeah. So for me, traditional means that. I mean, how our parents, grandparents met. Basically. Like going out at a bar, at a restaurant, whatever. Not something that you can have on social media or dating apps. For me, it's everything except that.
Okay. Do you think people are still as bold as those generations were to come up to you? Because I personally feel like, okay, I was reading this article. It's from Essence, and it was talking about how early 2000s like dating advice are coming back, and one of them, like how many of the old books and movies are like rising up and coming back and being like, oh, literally the author said, she asked the question, why are these books resonating with new audiences? It said it's simple: nostalgia and longing for to date before apps like Hinge or Bumble even existed. As many hope to find love in more traditional and romantic ways. And I'm like, it is so beautiful that we all seek romance. But it's like, are we bold enough? At the side of it is, women, are we sitting here waiting for the guy to make the first move? Or are we willing to be the bold ones? because I know I may not be willing to be the bold one. In true honesty, I want that. It's not the idea of being pursued per se. For me, it's kind of more the idea of being courted.
I agree and disagree. I agree in a way that there is something with being criticized.
Mm-hmm.
There is something with it. There is like this vibe of being. It's not chased, but the person is bold enough to talk to you and doing the first move. But I disagree in a way that if you really like someone or at least physically attracted to someone because you don't know that person yet, even if you're a woman, you should try, because I think it just, again, stereotypes and how the society works.
Funny. We talked about that.
Yeah. It's not because you are a woman that you cannot be bold. It's not because you're a woman that you cannot do the first move, make the first move. You can do whatever you want. And if you want to make the first move, go for it. It's like when people are saying, oh, you're not going to ask your boyfriend to marry you. What if I want to? What if I want to ask my boyfriend to marry me? What is the problem with that?
Well, let me
Debate.
There we go. See, that's why we complete each other so well. Let me debate with you with one. In the article that I mentioned, and we are speaking of traditional dating. People are seeking traditional and romance. If we are going traditional, I am talking about mainstream traditional.
Yeah, in that way, I agree. But I was talking about being bold.
Oh, if you're doing it traditional, you have to do it from the beginning to end. And traditional would mean the man is bold in a traditional sense, like basic level traditional. The man is courting / pursuing a woman. They get in a relationship. They become involved. When it comes time to propose, in the traditional sense, would it not be the man's responsibility to propose?
No, I think that if you want to be like, meet someone like traditionally and you want to do everything traditionally in that way, yeah, the man is supposed to propose to the woman. But when I said if you want to propose to your boyfriend, it was in a way that if you want something in your life, make it happen.
Be bold.
And be bold.
Okay. Oh, well, here's my question then. Would you say that just because you start traditional doesn't mean you have to remain traditional?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, but I think that also there is like the generational expectations where before it was more about the soulmate and being with your person. Right now, our generation is about, oh, today I want that, I will have that. I want to have that man, I will have that man. I want to have that woman, I will have that woman. It's more about situationships and not relationship. And also more about going with the flow, just a vibe, you know?
Like, the goal is not long lasting. The goal is if it pleases me today, I want it. But if it stops pleasing me tomorrow, I'm moving on to the next best thing. Okay.
But there is, for example, a difference between the US and France, because I think it's more our generation that is doing that and there's not the culture involved in that. Even though in the US there is like more, like the younger people getting married, there's like more young people getting married than in France. And there is more this thing of high school sweethearts compared to friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a total side note here. I admire people who are like, we've been together since high school, and I'm like, you guys have gone through a lot, okay? Like, you know each other too much. But at the same time, it's like, unless you know those people, they will tell you their ups and downs. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I will say I've seen people romanticize it. That's what that's what I'm trying to say. Was I need to meet my soulmate in high school and we can sit. I'm like, it is not easy. Just because they met in high school doesn't mean they stayed together all throughout through college and whatever. Maybe they were together in high school. They graduated, went to different colleges, tried long distance. They decided to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really shows self-control and dedication to something.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we lack of a lot in today's generation is self-control and dedication.
Oh, definitely. And also, I think it comes with the social media dilemma, where social media and dating app, you have access, you have diversity, you don't have any boundaries in a way, but you also have like a lot of choice. So for me, like, having too much choice is not good. Having too much choice is like not having any choices. And most of them will ghost you at some point because, for example, you were going on a date, it went well, and the guy or the woman wanted to go a little further than you wanted to, for example, and at some point you didn't want to do what they wanted to, and it's superficial. But again, that's my opinion.
No, I totally agree with that one. Honestly, that you put people like what I really love is too many choices. You have no choice because it only makes choosing harder because you feel like you can have it all.
Yeah.
Because you want to try everything. You want to be like, okay, yes, there's so many options. I want a bit of everything.
Exactly, and that's why I took the example of the grocery shopping. You have like your list of the groceries that you need or you want. For example, you want to buy some, I don't know, sugary thing to make you feel good. And dating app is kind of the same thing. In this person, you will find funny because you cannot be funny and kind. No, but yeah. And the other one is kind, and you're like, okay, I want both. So I'm going to be in a situationship with that person, and I'm going to be going with the flow with that person. And there is not anymore this thing of being alone with one person and being okay with that because you have too much choices.
Okay, I listen to this podcast. It's called Dial In Ministries.
Okay.
And they have a series about dating.
Mm-hmm.
Series about dating. They talk about like red flags, and I recommend it. It was very good. But one thing, it kind of goes back to the table of 7 idea, in a sense. But they talk about how the person, if you're interested in a person, ask them. They give a random number. They give 5. Ask them who are the 5 people in their lives who are older than them and not related to them. Because then you can go and find those people and ask them what they think of that guy or of that girl. And I thought about it and I was like, it is funny how today's generation, I would say mostly, has made dating like a 2 people thing. It's just you and me. And forget about what everybody else thinks, forget about what everybody else says. Like it's like, I love her, I don't care, or I love him, I don't care. And I'm like, maybe, just maybe, we should start caring.
Caring and not. Okay, there is this thing about commitment. Okay? Love is different now, and commitment is also different. In a way that there is a lot of people that are okay being with multiple persons, and I mean, if it's your choice, that's okay. And if the people that you're involved with are okay with that, that's okay. Some people are just doing that because they are afraid of commitments. And I think that our generation, so the Gen Z, is refraining from being vulnerable with someone and scared of intimacy. When I say intimacy, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about being, deep conversation and being vulnerable around the person that you're dating. And I'm not saying that's something that is easy to do. It's not. It's not easy, and sometimes maybe I have some issue with that, and I am very not okay with that problem in a way, but I'm okay saying it. I don't have any issue saying that I'm sometimes scared of committing myself. Even though, for example, I don't have any commitment issue with friendship. I will give myself 100% to the person that I'm friend with.
See, for me, it's kind of the opposite, in a sense, because you said you can give yourself in friendship, but you may like put some more boundaries in relationship.
Yep.
I do it in both. I used to really be guarded in my friendships and in relationships. Like the less you know about me, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is you have to reach that intimacy level. You need to reach, even in friendship, you need to reach a level of depth in your relationship. You need to be like, okay, this is my good, my bad, and my ugly. Like, you need to think about it as, if I'm interested with this person, committed to this person for as long as forever, then maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't fall in love with a version of me that is not fully true. And maybe, just maybe, I should expose my own vulnerability a little.
No, I agree with that, but sometimes it's complicated, and I think that there is people that had bad experiences, that they had, like, not even our experiences, like personal experiences, but around us we hear about stuff, and in a way you're not influenced, but you're like, okay, I have to take a step back, and I cannot fully trust someone or the person that I'm dating, because you never know, which is true. I think that sometimes you also have to, everything is not good to say, in a way that, for example, at some point I think that everyone is kind of like that when they are angry, and you are angry at each other and arguing,
and somebody used something that you've told them.
Yeah, and that's the thing that will hurt you the most, because you confided in them, and at the end they're using what you told them against you, and that's not okay.
Oh no, I totally believe in boundaries.
Yes.
There is boundaries, and then there is guarding. if you are guarding yourself, that means nothing comes in, nothing goes out.
Yes.
You have made yourself like a fortress.
Yeah.
But if you have boundaries, you decide how much of you are letting somebody see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most important thing, because you need to be, honestly, you will get hurt. That is inevitable. And you will meet the wrong person, and you share with them the right things. And then they will use those right things against you. And they are the wrong person. And I will say it's a sign sometimes that if somebody is using something that you've told them in confidence as a weapon, you may consider walking out.
Yeah.
And I totally believe in people being like, you can work on it. If you believe you can get over it, go for it. Because that is a pain that you will carry with you for the rest of that relationship, where you're like, I can't share that with you because you will take it and slash my throat with it.
Mm-hmm.
You will use my own words, forge a sword from it, and stab me with it.
Yeah. And there was also the thing when you said wrong person. I think that sometimes you will meet the person that you think is the person. At the end, it will be the wrong person, and you will break up and just like having different paths and going different ways. And the thing with that kind of relationship, even in friendship, is that that person was the wrong person for you at the end. But this person came to your life for something.
You gain something.
You gain something. They teach you a lesson in a way. They teach you not only about like a lesson about trust or I don't know, yeah, commitment or something like that. They teach you also about yourself.
You are a product of your experiences and environment. You mentioned it earlier. You were talking about how if you see people with bad relationships, that influences you, and I'm like, it is so true that sometimes you will watch other people's relationships from the outside. You're watching and somebody's telling you about them, and if you're an observer, you're observing everything around you. And you notice little things. I don't like this. I don't like that. I like that. I don't like this. I don't like that. And altogether, those experiences become who you are. It reflects in your quote-unquote standards, because some people have high standards. And it's not high standards if I've seen somebody else do it.
Yeah, and also, I don't think that people should judge you for having high standards. If you have high standards, it means that you either saw stuff from another relationship, or you had bad experiences, and now you know what you want and you know what you do not want in a relationship.
Yes, if he wanted to, he would. But are we being realistic? If you're with someone, be willing to be with someone where they are in their lives. Not saying that you should take whatever crap they're giving you, but also just be okay. I know this is this period of time and there is yet something better to come. I don't know how to phrase this, but it's not about you're not doing this for me, so I'm walking out. But it's more like, what are you also doing? Because that other person can also be like, what are you doing for me? If all you expect is me to do things for you. So standards keep you from jumping from one thing to another at all times, regardless of anything. They keep you on a path. This is what I'm looking for. Never judge someone for what they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Wow. Let me actually ask you one more question.
yeah.
Sorry, I should have asked it, not as in Okay. Is love a feeling or is it a choice?
Oh. I think it depends on the person that you have in your life. Sometimes you choose to love someone, and sometimes it's just a feeling and you cannot do anything about it. I think that it depends on the situation, but most of the time I will say that if you are not feeling good about something, it's all about feeling in a way. If you're not feeling good about something that your boyfriend or girlfriend did, and it makes you not good, sad, whatever feelings that you're feeling, you can choose to walk away from that. I'm not saying that's something that it's easy to do, but at some point you will see that the person that you are with is not good for you, and you will make the choice to leave. It's all about choice when you have to leave a person. Yeah. What I want to say is that sometimes you're just looking for something very specific, and our generation is very complicated and it's not easy to date nowadays. But that doesn't mean that you will not find someone that is looking for the same thing as you. It might be maybe more complicated than before because everything is digital and it's kind of, I think, an issue at some point. But I think that you should be free to date whoever you want, at least. But you should be happy. You should not impose something on yourself because you look good with each other and I don't know, this guy is great because he's nice, but if you don't feel complete with someone, okay, I'm going to say something, but I'm not sure about that. Okay, I will say that you should feel complete with someone, with the person that you are with. Mm-hmm. It's like a puzzle. It clicks.
Complemented or completed?
Completed. Like a puzzle. It clicks. But I think that nowadays dating, it's like both about freedom and confusion. But if you're confused, it means that maybe this relationship is not good for you because you should not be confused about your relationship and what you're feeling. Yeah.
Like last question.
Okay.
Because you just said you should not feel confused. Do you think that this generation is one who does not fully understand their own feeling, which is why they do hop around?
Kind of, yeah. I think that sometimes being confused, I mean, everyone is confused. Even like in friendship, you are confused sometimes with the behavior and everything. But if you are feeling confused all the time in a relationship, then it's not good. I mean, feeling confused is like a normal feeling. Even at work, sometimes you can be confused, and that's okay. But if you're feeling confused in your relationship, like on a daily basis, I don't think that's something that is good for you then.
Well, mango berries. This was mango
and strawberry. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.